So, how did I get into Formula One racing? I got into Formula One because honestly, I was born into it. I was born on the east side of Detroit in 1981, less than a mile from downtown. From 1982 to 1988, the Detroit Grand Prix Formula One race was held on the downtown Detroit circuit practically in my backyard. Now, for almost the first decade of my life, Formula One came to my city every single year. I could hear the engines no matter what I was doing, whether I was eating dinner, eating lunch, sitting at school, at church, playing outside, or simply trying to get some sleep at night. I heard those race engines, and those race engines became the soundtrack of my childhood. Now, when I was around 5 years old, every time I heard those engines, I started getting an adrenaline rush, and I would run to the window while my older siblings would be outside playing. I would stay in the house and watch the race. I would watch the practice sessions, I would watch the qualifier, and I would watch the race itself. Growing up on the east side of Detroit was kind of sketchy. It was dangerous, so it wasn't not always easy. It was a rough environment, and a lot of times I did not want to be outside around the chaos, around the fighting, around the noise, around the drama. So racing became my escape. Formula One gave me something beautiful, something exciting, and something powerful to focus on. As I got older, I was placed in an engineering program for underprivileged kids who earned really good grades in school. I fell in love with engineering, and by the time I got to college, Lord God, I switched my major from engineering to business. I did not follow my heart. Now, because I wanted to make more money, I made this decision. I grew up very poor. Now, looking back, if I had known then that engineer would keep me connected to Formula One, I probably would have stayed with engineering. But hey, sometimes people look at me and wonder, what is this black woman doing watching Formula One? But the truth is, Formula One has always been a part of my life. This is not something I picked up later on because it was trendy. I grew up with it. Formula One is in me. Formula One chose me. When Lewis Hamilton entered Formula One, my passion for the sport grew even deeper. I have spent years following his career, cheering him on, and hoping to see him win another championship. Lewis is one of my favorites, but Ayrton Senna is my all-time favorite driver. I love Ayrton Senna's driving style, his intensity, and the way he commanded the track. And I love the way he would go to war with the FIA to get safety regulations put in place for the drivers. Now, although I love sports is my life, but before football, before basketball, before any other sport, cars were my first love. Hey, I'm from the Motor City, the place where cars are born. So that love affair makes perfect sense. Football came. I fell in love with football when the Chicago Bears won a Super Bowl in 1985. I loved Walter Payton in the refrigerator. Basketball came later when the Detroit Pistons went back to back in 89 and 90 and won the NBA championship. But before all that, it was racing. It was always racing for me. And now that Cadillac is a part of the racing story, a part of the F1 grid, I'm very grateful that my grandfather worked for Cadillac for 40 years. So Cadillac has always been a part of my life, my family, and my family legacy. That's why when Cadillac entered Formula One, I was super happy. It felt personal. It felt like my family history and my first love for racing was all coming together and getting intertwined in one moment. So I'm always grateful that Cadillac is now a part of Formula One because Formula One is a part of my life and my legacy. No matter where I am in the world, I watch Formula One. I do not care if the race come on at 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the morning. I am watching the race. I love traveling to different races. I love recapping the races. I love being a part of the energy of the whole sport. Listen, Formula One makes me so happy. Driving fast makes me happy. Every car I ever buy is a sports car. And racing is my first sports love. And that's why Formula One will always be my thing. I'm grateful to now be a part of the Formula One world that once lived outside my window. This sports raised me before I even knew it. Now, to go from hearing those engines as a child at the window to being able to see it today up close and personal, sometimes in VIP, living it today is a full circle moment. It's a full circle blessing that I would never take for granted. I love everyone in the Formula One world. Thank you to the drivers who risk their life every weekend for I could be entertained. I love you guys, and I'm praying for you guys, and I love everybody in the F1 sports world.